everyone? Joel is here, and welcome back to another webisode on the J Rice Show. So today's topic that I want to talk about is: does money change people? What do you guys think? Because to me, honestly, I think it does, especially in this country and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people, like the ones that have money or like rich or like have a good amount, a decent amount of money, whatever like that. They're different people when it comes to the people who really have barely has it and the ones that's just flat out poor, don't have anything or whatever like that. And that's what I've noticed a lot in this country and everything like that. And I always talked about it with actually no, I don't think I already talked about my friend, like maybe a little bit, but I mostly just talk about it like to myself in my head. Like I feel like when it comes to this country, there's a lot of like just privileged Americans that when they have money or all they care about is money and buying expensive shit, whatever like that, it's like they don't really give a shit about nobody else or whatever like that. They just pretty much just only care about themselves. They don't care about no one's well-being. They don't care about like relationships or nothing like that. Like I have experience, with it. We're talking with people in this country, and also when I talk to people in like third world countries and stuff like that, and you can just see like how different people are, especially when it comes to like people in this country and stuff like that. And I feel like when it comes to like people who don't have it, really have it, and then when it comes to like or people just poor, whatever like that, they treat you better, treat you better, they treat you with respect, they're more understanding, they know where you come from, you understand. And if you also don't have money or you're poor, you understand where they come from, like myself or whatever like that. And I feel like also when it comes to like a relationship, when it comes to like love or whatever like that, somebody who's poor actually knows more about it and everything like that, and they're more understanding, they're more like faithful, they're more like cool and kind of laid back or whatever like that. You have more in like common with them, but when it comes to like somebody who has money or whatever like that, it's like they're not really good people, all they care about is that, especially when it comes to people, like when it comes to their jobs, all they care about is work or their jobs, making money, being money hungry, whatever like that. Or the ones that had like didn't really have good jobs, but now they have good jobs, it's like they don't know how to act, and everything like that. They just like full of themselves and everything. And that's what I see a lot in this country, especially when it comes to like people from the cities. I notice like that. But yeah, when it comes to like people like in like smaller towns or like in the countryside or whatever like that, they're a little bit more different in this country. But for what I've seen, when it comes to like Americans as a whole, when it comes to having money, that's the way they are. They're not like nice people or whatever like that, or just money hungry, not generous or whatever like that. Don't know anything about love. Don't really care about other people. Pretty much, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's probably like one or two, of course, like not everybody, but from what I've seen in this country, that's mostly what it is. I feel like when people have money, it's like they don't know you anymore. Like pretty much like, yeah, to screw you, fuck you, or whatever like that. I'm doing my own thing now, or whatever like that. I got money now, or whatever. They don't really care and everything. And it's like they just focus on that one thing. All they care about is that. They don't care about nothing else. It's just making money, and that's it. And I don't like that shit because I've experienced that a lot. I've seen it, seen it a lot, and everything. And it's just not a good thing. It's not good to be that type of way. To me, that's a bad thing. That's evil in a way, a sin. But yeah, not good to be money hungry and stuff like that. But that's people for you. That's people for you. But yeah. But I'm different. I'm not like that. Even if I was to have money like a lot, I still wouldn't be that type of person. And stuff like that. And I'm always the one that's always helping people out, being generous to help people and stuff like that, because I'm not one of those people, like, and I am, and obviously, of course, like if I was to ever like be rich or whatever like that, I would understand, like, of course, where I came from, being poor, whatever, I'll understand that same person. So like, yeah, I can help you out here and there with something like that, So, but a lot of people don't really do that stuff in this country. They're not really helpful. They're not really generous. They only care about themselves or whatever like that. And then when it comes to a relationship, it doesn't last, because all they care about is just like work, buying materialistic things, worry about their cars or whatever like that. They don't really give a shit, So that's something I've noticed a lot since since talking with people, internationally versus people in this country versus Americans or whatever like that. So yeah, and I see people here, it's not good. Like as a whole, like a lot of things like with Americans I don't really like. That's why I don't really like to like mingle with like like be friends, like have friends American or whatever. I prefer having a lot of friends like out of the country, whatever, because it is different. Like we just click better and whatever like that. And a lot of them just way more nicer, more chill, more respectful, and everything like that. And you don't really get that in this country. So this is one of the many reasons why I hate it here. honestly. And if I had money, I would have moved a long time ago. But yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it. Like Americans, it's like So yeah, I mean, I'm one too, of course, 'cause I was born here, but I don't act anything like people here. I can tell you that much. But yeah, so that's just what I believe. That's what I see. And from my experiences, like it's just that's why that's the things I've seen, and that's from my experience and what I believe, and everything like that. I don't know what you guys think and everything, if it happens to you guys or whatever. But for me, or if you guys seen it, but for me, I've seen a lot. And yeah, so especially like I said, when it comes to like a relationship, I feel like when it comes to like when you really want somebody who's serious and faithful, and they really, you know what love is, and they really care about you, whatever like that. I feel like when it comes to the people who don't have it, is the ones that's more like that. But then again, you gotta be careful, because sometimes those same people don't have anything. Once they get something, they come up to be something. It's like they don't really give a shit no more, or whatever like that. They change a lot, so that's another thing to worry about, or whatever like that. Because like I said, a lot of people who don't have anything and they get some money or whatever like that, it's like they don't know how to act or whatever like that. They think they're just shit, and they forget where they came from and stuff like that. And I'm not that type of person. Like I said, I'm always a nice person, laid back, always helpful, always willing to help or whatever like that. So I'm not one of those type of people. I'm not money hungry. It's whatever to me is money. It's just paper, green paper. I don't really like cherish it or feeding for it or whatever like that. So it is what it is. I don't care. So yeah, because if it did, I would be trying to get some job like pays good, or going back like doing full time and whatever like that, if that was really the case of what I really care about. Honestly, for me, I feel like I care more about, like, for me, in my opinion, like I care more about just being happy, being happy, stress free, with my health, and just staying positive, and just loving God, and then just thanking God every day for for everything in my life, and waking up to like see another day and stuff like that. I care more about those things than over money. So to me, I feel like I would care, like I would actually be more interested in like living like in a different country, like a third world country, as long as I'm happy and everything like that, and stress free or whatever. I have nice people around me, like cool friends or whatever like that, and even like somebody for relationship wise or whatever like that. That would be more important to me, than money and everything like that. That's just my opinion. Whatever, you guys probably gonna think like, oh, that's crazy, whatever like that. But everyone's different. So everyone's thing's different. Everyone's not the same. Like I said, I'm way different than a lot of people I know, and knew, and I'm really different than how I used to be back then, because the way I talk now is not how I was back then, everything like that. I was back then more care about money and making tons of money, and like just only focus on that, and buying all these shit, whatever I can buy, expensive, all these games that comes out, all this stuff I cared about back then, expensive like devices, phones, whatever. Now I'm just the opposite. I don't really care about that stuff anymore. I just care more about, especially, at this age of my life, like I just care more about just being like happy, having what I finally can, want, whatever like I can finally get, and just being happy and just for life, just enjoying it while I can, while I'm still young or whatever like that. I don't want to be one of those people like just focus on working, and next thing you know, you get like 50, 60, and you're like, okay, my life is just wasted because it's all I've been doing. Like I really didn't have any fun in my life or whatever. Like I don't want to be one of those people. I want to enjoy my life while I can, while I'm still young and stuff like that. And yeah, just have fun, and then find somebody and everything like that. A lot of people don't care about that. They just worry about their jobs or whatever. They don't care about finding a relationship or whatever like that. Like I'm the opposite. So I want to be happy and everything, enjoy my life. I don't care about that stuff. But like I said, that's what I feel like. That's what I believe and everything. I feel like when people have money, they change. Especially in this country, they change. But and also, like I said, people who come from other countries that come here and make money, have money, they change. So yeah, so that's just what I feel. Like they always say, money is the root of all evil, right? So yeah, and that's it. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think. You guys believe that or not, or whatever. You guys just think I'm just talking shit. Let me know and everything like that. But that's what I see, and I don't like it and everything like that. And it's sad. It's really sad. I wish there was more people like me, honestly, out there. But it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, well, more Americans, I should say, like me, but it is what it is. So yeah, so that's it for this topic. You know, my thoughts on everything like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section if whoever's watching, whatever like that. You know, if your thoughts is the same, what you guys think on that. You know, have you know people who change after, you know, when they have money or whatever or what, you know, let me know and everything. So yeah, guys, so hope you guys enjoyed this webisode topic for today's webisode on the Jay Advice Show, and I'll see you guys next time for another one. Peace.